A world is supported by four things: the learning of the wise, the justice of the great, the prayers of the righteous, and the valor of the brave. But all of these are as nothing without a ruler who knows the art of ruling. The third warning in Dune is a warning against charismatic leadership. Herbert lived through the rise of fascism, saw the communist revolution deteriorate into Soviet dictatorship, and was working as a speechwriter in Washington during the height of the McCarthy era. He was even distantly related to McCarthy, but decried what he was doing to America. In all this, he saw a single problem at their root, a single issue plaguing the world: the problem of individuals coming to dominate the political world through charisma rather than ideas. He saw the problem of persuasion by force of personality, where people would go along with dangerous, even catastrophic ideas if they were offered by people with enough charisma. He saw the cult-like mentality where regular people would sell out those they'd been close to, or even do things clearly self-destructive for the sake of an ideology espoused by people with enough presence. So he wove his thoughts on this idea into Dune. And in Dune, he offers us a number of different leaders, each of which represent a different form of the charismatic leadership style he had come to see as so harmful to humanity. So let's look at the three major ones. First, there's the Duke, Leto, leader of the Atreides. Now, you might be asking, wait a minute, isn't he one of the heroes? And that, right there, is what's wrong with his style of leadership. He's a decent person, sure, trying to do good, but he uses everything he can to distract you from asking the question, is he actually leading well? Bravura is the number one word associated with Leto. It means a masterful performance. It's a musical term, usually talking about a dazzling solo, something that's so impossibly difficult and flashy that it's completely entrancing. But the thing about this type of solo, it doesn't necessarily make for good music. But it's the Atreides style of leadership. Leto lives with the specter of his father, whose death was the ultimate act of bravura. He died spectacularly in the bullfighting ring. Even his death was a performance. And this is something that Leto feels the weight of. Time and again, we see him wrestle with the fact that his leadership is based on performance, on stunning people all the time. He has to mask his exhaustion, even though it means masking his impairment and perhaps not passing work along to those who can handle it better. His press corps is famous for their ability to burnish his image. And before the Atreides even set up a water refinery or a stillsuit plant on Arrakis, they made a factory for producing film so they could get propaganda out to the local populace. He serves as our warning against good people leading us because of who they are rather than what they are doing. Even the most well-intentioned make mistakes and make compromises they don't desire in order to survive in the world of politics. If we let their personality and a few flashy performances distract us from holding them accountable for the decisions they make, and what, at the end of the day, they actually do, we all suffer, as those who followed the Atreides found out. Then we have the Baron. How does the Baron rule? You may think it's through fear, but that's really always secondary for him. Something distasteful to be resorted to if necessary. No, he rules through vice. He is our exemplar of the charisma of vice. He plays to people's desires and tempts them by offering them what they crave. For instance, he controls his guard captain by his desire for the drug Samuta and his mentat by his lust for power. He's the pusher who says it's okay to give in to your darker side a little, that you should indulge in all those things you crave. He is the tempter who enables your most selfish thoughts. He convinces the Emperor to abandon law and decency to remove a possible rival rising in House Atreides. And he enables Yue to sell out all those he's responsible for, those he cares for an impossible hope. He is the character that absolves us from our sins by telling us we deserve our desires, that we shouldn't deny ourselves, that we should just indulge. In his fief, he's created a society where people feel justified saying and doing things they would never do in the rest of the Imperium. Most importantly, though, by helping people justify their vices, he's not just enabling them to do vicious or wicked things. He's getting them to think of these things as no longer wrong. He serves as a warning against the type of leader that rises based on pandering to our desires. Lastly, there's Muad'dib, Paul Atreides, the son of Leto, who will lead the Fremen on a jihad throughout the galaxy. He represents the charismatic religious or mystic figure. He plays on ancient hopes and traditions to rise to power, and once there, uses those same mystic traditions to create a fanatical, almost maniacal devotion to him. But the biggest lesson that Muad'dib presents to us is actually about what's out of his control. Those myths and legends, those old desires and ancient ideas of who the Fremen are, those end up ruling him. Even with his ability to see into the future, those things constrain him. He can't see a way out of the path that they shaped for him so long ago. In this way, he is a caution and a warning, telling us that the most core elements of how we make up who we are is not a path to power, but a trap. A trap that lets those things take on a life of their own and play out their terrible purpose. And with that, we wrap up the 3 warnings of Dune and this season of Extra Sci-Fi. But if you want to continue the conversation, the EC crew has actually been streaming our Dune Book Club live on our Twitch channel every Tuesday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you find yourself hankering for even more Herbert, hop in your internet thopter and come say hi. But until then, it's back to the literary spice mines for us. However, if you use your future sight one more time, you'll see that in a few months, the new season of Extra Sci-Fi will begin with the end. That's right, we are talking dystopias and apocalypses. So we hope you'll all join us for the end of the world.